game at Eden Park. All Blacks versus Springboks. Take away, mate. What happened?
Oh, mate, it looked like the Springboks hadn't gotten off the plane.
Now, before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe and turn on that bell notification so you know when we upload. Goeiedag and welcome back to Rugby Heads, powered by the Pig Athletic Club, where we cover all things in the world of rugby. My name is Yone, and joining me once again from the bench is getting more starts here than some of the starters. Please welcome back the Green Goblin from Randwick, Dave Vea. Welcome, mate. Welcome.
Always here, mate. Always here. Always ready. Always ready.
Now, before we get started, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, as it helps us with that algorithm somehow. But as we get started, like always, we start with a positive. Our top performer of the week. Dave, who stood out for you this week?
I can't go past the Chua Lee for the Wallabies on the weekend. 2 meat pies. I thought he played pretty well in attack and in defence. I think he's slowly improving as an outside centre. Good to see Joe is persisting with him at outside centre. You know, there's a lot of calls to move him to fullback with Tommy White going down, but I thought he had one of his better games on the weekend. And I think if we be patient and be persistent with him at outside centre, we'll bear the fruits of our labour come World Cup time. So my shout-out to big Joey Suali from the weekend. Thought he played really well for the Wallabies.
Yeah, shout out to Big Joey. He had a great game. Good partnership he's building there with Ikitau, but we'll get into that, especially in our Team of the Week selections. But my top performer was the 100 gamer, this new Centurion from the All Blacks, Ardie Savea. It was real, mate. They really turned up. This was their record on the line at Eden Park. The media, the home media in New Zealand against them. Injuries to key players, especially in that halfback role, and then mate, his play in that last few minutes to get that key turnover when the Springboks were just attacking the line at the end there. So Ardie Savea, mate, he always turns up. He's done it for Moana all year. He's done it for the Hurricanes past few years. He's done it in Japan, and he keeps doing it again. So shout out to the Centurion, Ardie Savea.
Even our Scrams correspondent from Fiji, JT, wasn't back in the All Blacks.
Nah. He seems to be getting it all wrong. He backed the Lions to go 3-0. Now he's missed the Eden Park hoodoo, which is wide open for the Wallabies in 2 weeks. So watch his space on our predictions next week's show. But yeah, make sure you let us know your top performer of the week in the comments. But now let's go to our try or no try, something during the week or the weekend that was play on or offside. You got any tries or no tries?
Yeah, I'll start with my no tries so we can finish with a positive.
Yeah.
My no try this week is obviously the starters, Nems. Freeney has an excuse this week. It's his birthday, so shout out to Freeney. Happy birthday. What's that, 58?
yeah. Carry the one, yeah.
Hairline's definitely 58. But our silver correspondents in Nems and JT not being able to back up going to, what was it, homecoming or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Can't remember the last festival I went to. I think I was 12 or 13. But not being able to back up is my no try this week.
Yeah.
It's a bit like me playing third grade and having to play a whole 60 minutes of third grade, and then the starter for second grade goes down, and then I have to play 2 extra games.
Yeah. Then
I end up getting red carded. See? So they're my no tries for the week.
A bit like the Springboks at the moment. Can't back it up.
Hey, they seem to not be able to. Maybe it must be the travel. They can't travel well. And my try this week, I'd like to shout out the Ikaretahi.
Yeah.
They qualified for the World Cup. Booked our seat into the World Cup. And you can definitely see they're into the finals this week for the Pacific Nations Cup. So shout out to our Ikaretahi. Good to see that we've banked and put away the army camp 2 weeks out from a comp. That's not something you do then, because that seems to be working. We've got in some actual guys and that can actually coach, in Dan Halangahu, and there's a few Scrams coaches in there, but hey, just there for the paycheck. That's fine. We'll leave them in there for the numbers, but no, I'm kidding. They seem to have a good coaching setup there. A few of the minor coaches are helping out. And you can see even how they're playing. You can see there's some sort of cohesion or you can see something they're trying to do, which is good.
Yeah.
So that's my tries for the weekend. What about you, mate? What's your
off the back of yours? I just thought of off the back of yours. It's clear that this campaign was a key campaign for World Cup qualifications, the Pacific Nations Cup, and Tonga and Samoa. They were both my no try, just for how they didn't really stack their team heavily to make sure they get that qualification. But luckily for Tonga, Fiji beat Samoa. This is how we got our qualification, because we beat Samoa earlier in the competition. So it's just the lack of importance in actually the qualification of make it. Fiji's already made it. It was just the next one that was going to get the next qualification, and Tonga still got a few guys there that that were filling in because NPC guys are out, and so obviously the Frenchies are out, other than Big Ben, who's got some sort of he sorted some sort of deal with UBB, so he can do the whole thing for Tonga. And then
the mayor of Bordeaux does not do preseason, brother.
Or even the start of the season. He comes back when it's business time. So, that's a little bit of a no try. But my try was the school choir that sung before the All Blacks and Springboks game. Mate, I'm not a Kiwi. I'm not a Safa. But mate, I was feeling the mana and mana in Afrikaans on the weekend. That was very hearty from the school choir. I believe they're the ones that did it when the Black Ferns played a few months ago over at North Harbour Stadium. So shout out to the organisers, whoever made it. That was great atmosphere. And also
shout out to the choir, mate. They were bloody unreal.
Yeah, mate. No little were there, unlike the church choirs we were growing up. But that were our try and no tries. Make sure you put yours in the comments. Now let's get into the juicy stuff. TRC debrief and preview, starting off with the game at Eden Park, All Blacks versus Springboks. Take away, mate. What happened?
Oh, mate, it looked like the Springboks hadn't gotten off the plane. Until the last 20 minutes. I was also I was slightly disappointed by the Springboks. I don't think they played to what their normal standards would normally be for the first, I would say, half and even to 60 minutes. It took them to about 60 minutes to kind of find their groove.
Yeah.
I would have thought that this was a game in the calendar that Rassi would have put down as a challenge. This is, yes, we won the TRC, we won whatever titles it is, but we haven't won in Eden Park in a long time.
Yeah. And
I would have thought that a lot of their preparations this year would use that to try and go over there and try and break that hoodoo. But whatever happened, they misfired. They physically, mate, the All Blacks were physical and accurate in the first sort of 40 minutes. They took their chances. South Africa still had plenty of ball, but they couldn't do anything with it. I don't think they got in, like I said earlier, I don't think they got into the game until the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And by then, the game was pretty much over.
Yeah. Right.
And I think the other thing was just South Africa's selections. Not sure if it's sort of panic or based on sort of game plan they try to play. I feel like they've fielded probably 3 extremely different teams across the 3 weeks of TRC, from the 2 games against the Wallabies to this team that played against the All Blacks, and feel like all 3 teams play in a very different way. So they pick teams to play in a certain way. And I don't think this team, when I saw the team picked, it looked like a very Tony Brown attacking flair team. But I don't think the platform, their lineup wasn't firing. The scrum was still pretty good, which is expected.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they couldn't fire in the first. And even when they did, they kind of had to go back to their old style of traditional rugby and just carry in scrum, penalty, get to the corner and maul and try and dominate physically. But I say the All Blacks was pretty accurate. Even in the breakdown and stuff like that, the All Blacks was quite impressive.
Yeah.
And that's not to take that away from them. But, I would look, to be honest, I was slightly disappointed by what the Springboks dished up. I would have thought they'd be better prepared for that Eden Park game. Is my take on it, mate.
Yeah. Off the back of your one, mine is also on the Springboks. My takeaway was the Springboks were far from their best, but
Mm,
within in the 80th minute, they were still in the chance to sort of steal the game or at least tie it up.
mm,
So
yeah,
they're not even close to being their best, and they're still sort of there. So I think they might. I'm calling. We'll get into predictions for next week. I'm already calling the Springboks. I know they've already named the team on Monday. They've made a few changes. They've got some of the younger guys in. I think it's going to be a very different one, similar to when they lost to the Wallabies and then sort of switched. I think
yeah,
after, I reckon they would have got like that was a poor performance for them, like you said, and
mm,
they finally switched on when the game was pretty much already gone, and then they tried to claw it back, but it was a little bit too
yeah,
late. But they almost still done it. I think they're gonna bounce back this week in Wellington. All Blacks always play. They always lose the games here. Like they lost to Argentina the other year. Here they've almost lost. Oh, they tied with the Wallabies a few years ago. This is one of those
yeah.
stadiums where it's not really
Okay,
felt. The money's not felt there, so they don't have that home ground
mm,
advantage, which was weird because there's a lot of Saffers across the border in North Harbour there, and I'm sure they would have been over at the game on the weekend. It's just disappointing that the Box didn't get it done. Interesting
mm.
team. Did you see the team Russie released on Monday?
Yes, there's a lot of new names in it, which is why I know you alluded to the fact that the All Blacks hasn't played well in Wellington,
Yeah,
but looking at the team that they've picked for this weekend, hey, I think I'm going to back the All Blacks to go 2 from 2 at home.
yeah. I think the Springboks fans will be a little bit worried, and they're probably already
Oh,
on their
and
backs.
look, don't you worry, we've got plenty of Bokkers fans that listen to this
Yeah,
apparently on our YouTube channel. So shout out to all them. We love your great feedback every week.
yeah,
No, I'm just looking at it because you look at the Wallabies when they beat them in Joburg, Ellis Park.
yeah,
They had the likes of Pollard and all them to call back to sort of try and win that second game over there, which a lot of those experienced guys did so. And the reverse of that is happening this week, where they've gone with Komazulu at
yeah,
10, and then now they've gone for the less experience to try and win a game at the
yeah,
Cake Tin. So it's almost like, are they just using this as an experimental game? But like any time a South African player pulls on the South African
yeah,
jersey, it's still a test match. But in terms of an overall picture, is that not even throwing in the towel? Is it they're using it to try and see if they can blood the next generation um, of Springboks to
yeah,
take them through to the 27 World Cup?
yeah,
Because if you have a look at the current team now, I dare say some of the older guys, not all of them, will carry through to the next
yeah,
World Cup
yeah,
or to see. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. But that's my thoughts on the
yeah.
latest team they've named to play in the Cake Tin.
Are you
Which
surprised? Are you surprised in like the test on the weekend how big it was? The game of the year, one of the biggest tests. Their chance to sort of get rid of that the Eden Park hoodoo. Are you surprised that they tried their tricks that they normally try on like the Wallabies when the Wallabies weren't good, or they that line out just in the middle of the field where it was a bit of a nothing, and then Tupolvai just came around the back and killed it off, and then
yeah,
it was a scrum to the All Blacks. So are you surprised that they tried that and they didn't click that the All Blacks are too smart? He worked against
yeah.
Italy, he worked against Georgia, he didn't even work against the Wallabies, but are you surprised that they actually
Yeah.
tried it again?
Look, I think you answered your own question there. You've done it against 3 Tier 2 teams. Well, with all due respect to Italy.
Yeah,
Um, and once you see them do it, then you've obviously set up your defensive system to know what you do if you're going to see it. So you
yeah,
look for cues when they do it, and then you've implemented a defensive system that's going to obviously nullify what they're trying to get out of it, which is obviously trying to suck in more defenders into that piece there. But if you just leave it, they can't go forward. It's a
yeah,
maul.
yeah,
Unless the bloke at the front turns and run, then you can just chop the bloke at the front. So, look, I think it's probably slightly naive of them to try and do it again because everyone kind of catches on because it was so unique when they did it. But I think once everyone works out how to defend it, you kind of go, well, it's actually not the best. It's entertaining to watch,
yeah.
but it's probably not the best way to do it, because once everyone catches on how to defend it, it's actually pretty easy to defend. And like you said, you either don't hit the ball and they have to stay static there, or do exactly what Dubovai did and just run around the corner, because there's no one at the front.
Yeah. Fucking blood gracie, mate. And then we'll get your match predictions. I reckon the Box is going to get up 1-12. What do you think's going to happen this weekend in Wellington?
Hey, just pure look. It's I think it's a flip of a coin, and you can go either way. But just looking at who they've named, and I think the impact of, and I think this is probably something more interesting to Wallabies fans to be aware of, right? When they pick their team there, some of their selections they can't make because some of those players have to go back to those overseas clubs.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so when you're looking at Henry Pollard, the bloody premiership's about to start. He's probably back there.
Yeah.
So whether they are going to back, it's almost like you put a bunch of Colts in there and just let them run right with whatever. And sometimes when you do that, they actually do play well because they play with freedom. There's no expectations on them, and they're playing against the All Blacks in Wellington at home. So it could. That's where I'm coming from when I say it's a flip of the coin, because you can either, because you don't have those experience to try and claw your way back to how you actually want to play and get those new guys in to go, oh, this is how we want to play by, and so forth. Or you just put new guys in there, whatever new systems you're trying to implement, tell them go hell for leather, just have a go at it and see if it works. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, there's no pressure.
Yeah.
And sometimes that actually works for some people. So yeah, interesting team, but having not seen the All Blacks name their team, I wonder what I dare say they want to win at home.
Yeah.
Go 2 from 2. Scotty Robertson's probably wanting one more win just to get the public more inside on him as a coach. So that's probably where I'm leaning more towards the All Blacks, just the lack of experience that the Springboks new squad's got, but also the hunger from both the All Blacks to win 2 from 2 at home, and Scotty Robinson does not want to give away a game.
All right. Okay, you're going with All Blacks 1-12. I still think that they haven't got it all together yet, and the Springboks just weren't on the par in that first game. So I think the Box 1-12. So let us know what you think in the comments. Make sure you bet responsibly. Now let's go over to the Wallabies lost Pumas. Probably the more entertaining game, especially the last part. Mate, the Pumas had it. They had it. The upset was on the cards, and then big old Wilso swung his whip, and the boys got it done in the last minute. Your takeaways, standouts, and thoughts on the game.
Look, it was literally a game of two halves, right? I think the Wallabies didn't start so well. Slightly ill-disciplined in terms of in defence. Argies were pretty well drilled in attack. They had some pretty good set-piece tries. We've gotten them out to a pretty healthy lead at 21-7.
Yeah.
To be fair, in saying that, with all the Wallabies ill-disciplined, they still managed to get down and have a 22 entry and scored one. It was entry 1-1.
Yeah.
Nick White's. They made it look pretty easy. I mean, it was a good set-piece line out around the corner, forwards around the corner, and that created a lot of pressure on. And then they kind of went away from that, I feel. But I think the positive thing is to see a Wallaby side that can identify that they've gone away from what works for them and try and problem solve on the run and say, all right, this is how we're going to get back into getting ourselves back into this game. Which, if you see this Suoliti try, both of them were back to basics. They had a good set piece, entry into the set piece. He got a 1-on-1 with a 10. I mean, that's pretty hard to defend, but that's what they're trying to get into. Yeah. And once they got back into that, they clawed the game back. And like you said, there's still that ill-discipline for the Wallabies, which is, I must say, is pretty new from... I would say there was an off game for the Wallabies because their discipline's actually been really good the last test matches since the Lions.
Yeah.
They've won the penalty count every game. So an off game I think by the current Wallabies standards, which put them under a lot of pressure to be able to try and come back from behind and win that game. But the positive for that is to see a team that's able to identify how to come back and win, which is I think a good result at the end for the Wallabies. They probably learn a lot more than that kind of win than a convincing win, I would say.
Yeah, mate. It was great to watch. I somehow thought that the Wallabies were going to clean them, but we always think of the old RGs, but this is a different RGs. They've sort of built something. Yeah. They're well and truly one of the best teams, and they should be climbing up the ladder as the Wallabies are too. They did do the All Blacks in that last game in Argentina before they came over. They were missing Albanos, but I thought Careres was good at 10. I thought Wilso led really well. I know he got Wilso's different now. Like, a few years ago when Wilso was in and out of the squad, he had his chances. He'd always have those little drop balls. He'd just run it straight, and then he'd get deuced, then he'd drop the ball. Whereas now he's still getting deuced these first two runs, but he's holding onto the ball, recycling on the ball, and then he's going, and then he's getting that front foot ball as the game goes by. So, but that last play, sort of when they had the penalty, and he's gone, fuck it, we're not going for the draw, we're going for the kill. And mate, that's what you want to see, especially with all the hate he was getting during that first game in the Lions series when they were down by about 10 or 8 or 10, where they couldn't win the game anyways. And the Lions, and he just kicked it out. And he was getting a lot of hate from the Scrams media in Australia, and then even over in England. But it's good to see that he's sort of got everyone back on his side. The troops are ready to go, but Ikitau, he's just proving to be one of the best. He's every game he just can miss the consistent. Now he's setting up tries as well, more tries. I think set up 3 tries on the weekend. He is just a freak. His motor's crazy. He's not the biggest center, but he just gets it done. They were my 2 key ones, and also Cal's at the back. I said that we needed someone experienced, and I'm glad that Joe was listening and watched the show every week. Thanks, mate. Make sure you subscribe, mate, so we know what your ad is. But, mate, Cal's was safe at the back, and I think that's what he needed. And Jorgo, mate, he goes up and somehow just comes down with the ball. Impressive. This team, I think Australia's really falling back in love with the Wallabies thanks to this team and Joe's setup. So it's exciting stuff. Hopefully they can do it again. I've seen you guys have sold it out down there in Sydney. So hopefully it's they put on an entertaining game for you guys there. So
it's sold out. Can we just make sure my best friend is listening to this, because I haven't got a ticket to the game. He's come back to Sydney. I haven't heard from him, but I've heard from him more than when he was away. Yeah. So I know you're not listening, but you can clip this up, mate. I'll come around tomorrow night. Come pick up my ticket.
Speaking of your best friend, I know the Frenchies are trying to get all their plays. Nella is signed with Racing. Racing got trashed in the round 1. Inside news. Are they dinging his phone to hurry up?
Or maybe we might do a French on the French.
Mate.
Some moving pieces, mate. Mate, the ARU's got wipe their debt. Maybe just put themselves back in the debt. So you never know, man. You never know.
Yeah, Ikitau was crack up because
a French bulldog on Racing, mate.
There's a few of the boys like O'Connor. He signed with in the UK as well. Ikitau's heading over after the Wallabies campaign, and all the teams are trying to get their plays now. But mate, we need them. So all the boys hold on. But it's going to be exciting. Racing definitely need the help. And is going.
What's he playing on the weekend?
Lyon. They got dusted. Away game, but still. Racing owners notorious for not being happy guys. Hopefully they get it done next weekend. But this is not a French rugby heads. Back to the Wallabies. They play again. Sydney. Your prediction? 1-12 or 13 plus, and which team?
I'm actually going to go 13 plus.
Oh, Okay.
To be fair,
Why?
when they went into Townsville, I said 13 plus.
Yeah.
But the way the Wallabies played, like I just explained, they were ill-disciplined. They put themselves under pressure.
Yeah.
If they take all that energy and put it to the 3 tries that they got,
Yeah.
which they exerted minimum effort to, and make sure that they played more of that footy rather than on receiving end of penalty counts, then I can't see no issues with the Wallabies being able to score 4 tries and being able to limit Argentina's opportunities. It's going to be there's a few days of rain here in Sydney this week, but then it's meant to clear up on Thursday into the weekend. So it'll be, and it's a 2:30 p.m. kickoff in Sydney. The weather's this nice spring afternoon, first week of spring. The heat probably had an impact on the game over in Townsville.
Yeah.
So, and I think the Wallabies will still be, and even in the Sydney Rugby Public, probably still riding a high from the last Lions win here before they went out. So, and like you said, it's all sold out. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be sold out, and just speaking to a lot of mates here who's wanting to watch the game, and they've gone, "Oh, the tickets are sold out." This is probably the first time Wallabies tickets are sold out, and we can't even get a Guernsey to go watch the game. And we've gone to book pubs around the corner from Allianz. They're all booked out too. So, and look, I've looked it up. The Swans aren't playing either. So, someone did say to me, "Are the Wallabies actually back?" So, sorry to answer a long-winded way of answering your question. I think it'll be a 13 plus scoreline for the Wallabies. They're going to take away a lot. Like I said, probably learned a lot more from last week's win like that than actually winning convincingly. Then they'll know how to win convincingly this weekend. Is what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I'll back you up on that one. I've got a feeling Lucan's finally going to get unleashed. Back in the Wallabies jersey. So, I feel sorry for the RGs. I think the RGs are just going to be a little bit burnt out. They've sort of had the same guys in, there's been a long trip. They did their work at home, and I think they're sort of on that way down, and then they've got South Africa to finish off. So I think it won't end well for the RGs. So I'll back you up on that. I think it's going to be a big one from the Wallabies. So hopefully, touch wood, that it is.
But look, I think that's probably, an opportunity for the Wallabies here, because South Africa and Argentina both have their top players playing in the European comp. All those players are having to go back at the moment, as you can see, which is where I'm saying majority of, yes, we've opened up the Giddo law for the Wallabies, but our positive for us is 99% of our players are all local players, which all sit within their international window. They're open and available to play, obviously, except Skelton. So you can see that's another big. But going into the future, with now the Giddo law now open, it's going to be tricky to try and manage that. Players becoming available and how that all works now. That I think it'll more importantly points to the fact that our local guys should be able to, you sprinkle those good guys on top, but then that sort of develops the local guys here.
Yeah.
But we can probably learn a thing or two from currently the South Africa and Argentina situation.
Yeah. Yeah, true. We'll lock in the Wallabies 13 plus there. Now let's quickly pick our TRC team of the week. Starting with a loose head. I only had one, and he got the match-winning try for the Wallabies off the bench. Angus Bell. Impressive, strong ball carries off the bench. And then that game-winning try, mate. Just and making sure he didn't get held up as well. The big boy, he got it done. You have anyone else? Any shout out?
No, but as close second is the group. Only reason why I say close second is he probably had a few scrums there that he probably would have liked to do better.
Yeah.
But yes, I completely agree with you. Angus Bell.
Lock in Angus Bell. Hooker, this is your expertise, and I only had one name. Also off the bench, one of the All Blacks finisher, Sami Soni Dauke Aho. He came off the bench and 10 tackles, for 100% and 2 turnover steals. That's impact you want off the bench. It wasn't felt on the scoreboard because the Springboks were coming back, but that was my shout. You have anyone else that you thought was?
Mate, I thought Billy Pollard
Yeah.
had an outstanding game for the Wallabies, defensively and in attack.
Yep.
We talk about ball carries there, but defensively, Billy Pollard gets through a lot of work defensively. So how was his throw, mate?
How was his? You're the expert,
It's
mate.
actually very good.
Okay, we'll go with you, mate.
Yeah.
You're the expert hooker here, so we're going to lock in Wallaby double there. Billy Pollard. And then can we go 3 from 3 Wallabies here? I've gone Zanonga off the bench or Wilka Lowe, who was also off the bench for the Springboks, only for that one scrum where they just dosed the All Blacks off their own ball and sort of changed the game where they sort of come back.
Yeah, you have one job, and I think it's gone over and above what a tight end's job is. But look, to your point though, I think Zane Nongo has been a vastly improved test player. I mean, I still remember first seeing Nongo come through the red system as a younger fellow and a sub. And like every young front rower, you would know, scrummaging is not that.
Yeah, that's a good shout because I remember his debut. He got BCF'd off it, like he was only 18 or something, and he's in Super Rugby. He's getting BCF'd, and he was a bit teary after the game. Nell was trying to, make sure he's all right. But that happens when you're young. That's what you need to go through, and it's good to see him finally getting world class.
And even his first couple of tests for the Wallabies, he struggled in the scrums. But I mean, investing in that scrum coach, Simon Cron, for the Wallabies is probably working because his scrum leaps and bounds. We can look back to sort of the Lions. He held his own in the scrums when he came on, and every other test match he's been off the bench, I think he's been brilliant. So I think it's a great shout for Nongo for being a vastly improved test player, and he'll continue to get better. But like we said, one job as a tight end, and that's to dominate the F out of a scrum. Shout out to our boy, my other boyfriend. He did have a good scrum out. One of the scrums he pumped the Argentinian scrum. He got his head out the scrum. Argentina scored a punt.
Hey mate, don't stop shouting him out, mate. He's not returning your messages. So shout out to Wilka Lowe there, locked in. Mate. And at locks, in the locks, I had the 2 All Blacks locks in there. Tupova, 11 tackles, 2 turnover wins, and Scotty Barrett, 2 line out steals there. So you have anyone else in the locks you wanted to throw in there?
No, I agree. That was one of the ways that they took the game out of South Africa in large chunks of that game was South Africa couldn't win a line out.
Yeah. Mate.
And that was credit to those 2 second rowers. They did the jobs, but they also got through a mountain of defensive work, which is what you want from your second rowers. Especially, and very efficient around the field.
Especially the ball. That's the worst thing you want to see after you've lost the ball, you've turned it over, he's turned it over, and you see the ball just laughing at you, clapping in your face, getting in their head. So he actually got in the Springboks' head. So shout out to the ball Vai.
Question for you: what do you think? Is Duval Vai a second rower or a back rower 6?
Both, mate. He's both, mate. He's a bit like myself, but I had to add prop in there because I've got a bit too big too. So, mate, he's both. You could see.
I think it's good. I think he's an unreal player. And I can't pick either whether he's a better second rower or a better 6. He just seems to play exactly the same, regardless what numbers on his back.
Because in the last few plays in the game, he was scrumming down at 6. So I think he was already covering both anyway. So locked in there at number 6. Another All Black has had to shout out Simon Parker. 15 tackles, no misses, and 1 turnover win. Everyone was talking about him in the RG series and making million tackles. But I finally watched him carefully, and a lot of his tackles are dominant tackles. So I had to lock in Simon Parker, Peter Parker there.
Yeah, Peter Parker. Yeah, I thought he was very good. He was one of those selections that I was a bit like, what's going on here?
But big body.
And he's absolutely proved me wrong. because he's an unreal player, and the way he played on the weekend, and man, eventually he'd be putting a lot of pressure on both Wallace and all other
Jacobson,
back rows for the All Blacks, mate. They never seem to run out of good back rows at bloody country.
Yeah, it must be nice. At number 7, I had the Centurion, Artie Savea, that key turnover at the end, and he's just a dog. He's just a dog.
I can't disagree with you there, mate. Yeah.
Yep. Lock in Artie Savea. Special shout out to Fraser McWright. Got a few steals there. Slowly getting back to his best. But yeah, locked in Artie Savea. And number 8. I don't know if I'm blinded here, but I'm in love with the Wallabies captain, so I've got Harry Wilson in there. He just keeps going. He's gotten rid of all those little errors that he used to have in his game, and he's just been a real leader there. Or we could have had Wallace Atiti. I think he didn't do like big numbers. He didn't break the line or anything like that, but just he carried every day. I think he did like 18 carries and just tackled all day, but he came off, I think, with half an hour left in the game. So I had Harry Wilson, full 80.
Yep, by association and country, I agree with you.
Yeah, Larosha's in the comments if you don't agree, but yeah, we've gone with our skipper, Harry Wilson. At number 9, I've gone back to the All Blacks. Could have had Nick White, just that experience that the Wallabies needed. But I've gone Finlay Christie. The media's been talking about, he should be heading overseas before the SOS call was called out for him to help cover all the injuries. I thought he did well. I thought he darted well. His service was good. And Beauden Barrett, who was also my pick for 10, he gave him good service, which made Beauden's job easier. So I've had those two at 9 and 10, Finlay Christie and Beauden Barrett. Your thoughts?
Yes, I agree. Finlay Christie with me. Finlay Christie is a test rugby player. Regardless if you call him up from fishing or whatnot. Is
he another one of those fishing? Yeah, so it's lock in Finlay Christie and Beauden Barrett. Could have had special shout out to Santiago Carreras, who also played well, but we had to give it to Bodie. And on the wings,
that back line for Argentina.
Yeah, on the wings, I had Max Jorgensen. I know he didn't do the numbers, but it's probably a bit like Harry Wilson. He's just, he just does magical things. Could have had Moni Narawa, even though he came off injured. That try was just naughty. That dummy to fool the cover defense as well. And also Mateo Carreras. I think I had to lock in Mateo Carreras and then find another winger because, he was unreal for the Argies.
Thanks. He made the Wallabies defense grasping at air. I was like, what is this guy on?
Yeah, so lock in Mateo Carreras. Who do you have on the other wing? Or could have had Rico, or could have had...
Look, if Narawa didn't get injured, I would definitely gone with him. He was immense, and that was Springboks game plan, high balls, and let's see if they can catch it. And he caught every single one of them. Yeah. And they did it straight back to them. So, look, if he didn't get injured, I'll probably go with him. But Jogger just for the 80-minute performance, and shout out to Rico. He had a few great moments on the weekend, saved that try as well. But let's go to the Argentinian Aussie.
All right, let's lock in Max Jorgensen and Mateo Carreras. In the centres, all Aussie affair here for me. Len Ikitau at 12 and Joseph Suali'i. Lenny with the 3 try assists and Joseph 2 tries.
2?
Yeah. You going to put anyone else in? There's Geordie Barrett. He also played well.
I wouldn't put anyone else in front of them, but I thought also Geordie Barrett was
and Proctor also.
On the weekend.
Proctor probably had one of his best games, stood out.
Yeah. But I agree. We're going to go an all-Aussie affair for the centres.
Alrighty. Lock in Len Ikitau and Joseph Suali'i. And at fullback, special shout-out to Cals, but Will Jordan. He's done it a lot of times to us. Wallabies fans just ruined it for us, just sneaking through and then scoring tries. He did it to the Springboks. Will Jordan, 2 line breaks and a naughty try. You have anyone else?
I Concur. I completely
So
agree.
let's lock in. Will Jordan, let us know your team of the week and roast us if we have got our selections wrong. Now, Rugby World Cup over in England. The pool stages are now over. The quarterfinals are locked in. I don't think we need to talk about the pool stages. There's already a lot of negative media on the US saying how they perform, which I thought was a surprise because they did a lot better than what they used to do. The coach Shone Fukafuka is no longer with the USA. I believe he's going to be on his way home, which I'm hoping he's going to take over as the Wallaroos coach again.
Did that happen over there?
Sorry?
Did that happen over there?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was always going to be over after the World Cup, or if but there's some sort of stories on social media saying that, disappointing campaign, rah rah rah, and I'm like, mate, you just missed out on for and against. So, a bit of negative media there, but I want to go into and switch our attention to the quarterfinals, starting off with New Zealand and South Africa. Who do you think's going to win in this one? Black Ferns.
Mate, Black Ferns are looking pretty red hot. But in saying that, knockout footy is a completely different game to what's it called, the rounds.
Yeah.
You get yourself into that quarterfinals and anything happens.
Yeah.
I think if there's any across the whole weekend, if there's anyone with the highest chance of an upset, it'll probably be the South African the Lady Box against the Black Ferns. But in saying that,
that's pretty disrespectful for the Wallaroos. But
the Black Ferns are expected to win. But anything happens in finals footy.
Surely the Black Ferns, they need to get this in order to get to the next round and return to the final. I believe it's going to be a big one. Black Ferns' defense have been strong. South Africa, I think they gave away 57 points to the Frenchies in the last round of the pool stages, but maybe they had rested some of the players because they already locked in their place into the quarterfinals. But I don't see the Black Ferns getting challenged here. Braxton Sorensen, McGee, and Georgia Miller just on another level. Those young guns, and then they've got all the experienced old heads around them. So I see the Black Ferns winning this one. But then the key game for us is the other quarterfinal to see who they're going to meet in the semis. Our Wallaroos and Canada. We haven't got a good record against Canada. They're number 2 in the world. You already said the upset was going to be the Springboks. Do you see any upset for our girls?
Man, I'm not calling us an upset. We're going in as favourites, mate. We know their tricks, mate.
Oh, we know now. Oh, okay, mate.
Mate, we've given them all those false hopes against the Pacific.
Okay.
And then, mate, we're quietly confident that we're probably and that's what I mean. You keep playing against them, you keep getting better, and you get to know how they play a lot more. So I don't think there's vastly a disparity between the two teams. They've played each other a fair few times. The Wallaroos knows they know how to beat them. They just need to do it. A lot of people have said behind the screen than actually going out there and do it. I can tell you that myself. But look, I'm just banking on the fact familiarity of playing against each other that the back and girls, mate.
Sneak attack.
Caitlin Holt, massive fan. She's she's an absolute footballer. She's quick, she's strong, gets across the park pretty quickly, and mate, unreal skill. Love watching her play.
Yeah, we've got a great backline. Like, their backline is good. They got sevens experience, but we've also got I think the battle's going to be one up front. I think they got Sophie De Goody and then Dalika Menon in the forwards. It's if we're going to get pushed off the scrum, if we're going to lose our lineouts, if we don't have anything up front, then that's where we're going to lose it, which we have been losing it. So it's all up to that's where the battle's going to be won because it's pretty even in the back line. Let's just hope that the piggies get it done.
The good thing is I think the girls will take a lot of belief out of what they did against England early in that first half into that second half. They just need to replicate that a lot longer across across the entirety of the game.
Yeah, let's get behind him. If you're listening and you're in the UK, all the Aussies down in Shepherd's Bush, make sure you get out to Ashton Gate Stadium over in Bristol, and don't get lost on the old metros there. So we'll lock in the Wallaroos and the Black Ferns in the first two quarters, and then the last ones, France and Ireland, and then England and Scotland. Should be pretty straightforward with the England and Scotland, even though Scotland's been impressive. And then Ireland. That might be a close one. The French and the Irish game, that might be a bit of a close one. Frenchies aren't as strong as they used to be. So who do you reckon can get the French and Ireland one for our multi?
Look, I dare say, the fact that we're already going bold with our predictions around. We've got Black Ferns.
Yeah, we've got to pull it back. Yeah.
We've got Black Ferns. We've got Wallaroos. Then we'll go the French.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. And England, mate. You can't. England's untouchable. England. Yeah.
I was going to. No, we've already got one upset there.
Yeah. Lock in.
Don't gamble like me. Don't gamble like me, mate.
Yeah. So make sure you get out and watch the girls, or tune in on your local rugby provider, and we'll get the update on the semi-finals for next week's show. And then we've got the Pacific Nations Cup. We already spoke about Tonga making it thanks to Fiji defeating Samoa after Samoa were leading at halftime. We'll get to these last games. It's the semi-finals, starting with Tonga and Japan. Japan are favourites here, well and truly favourites. Do you see an upset?
Mm-hmm.
Can we do Eddie's men?
Eddie's ninjas, mate. Judging by because I've played against their Colts, I'll give the boys a bit of a ring and give them the rundown of how to beat Eddie's ninjas. But hey, mate. I really want to go with Tonga because I feel like they had a good performance against Samoa at home. Fiji was riddled with discipline, which they couldn't get into the way they want to play.
Yeah.
But you can see what a 2-week camp does for them. So I feel like a break for them is actually good.
Yeah.
So I am going to back the boys. I feel like we're going to see a lot more of what they've been trying to do in the last month click together in this game. So they've had a game to try it and not get all there, and then the game to go, all right, that's exactly how we don't want to play.
Yeah.
And let's put the two together and,
Oh, okay.
It Eddie's ninjas.
Alrighty. So we'll lock in Tonga. And it's nice to see the boys get out to the Broncos NFL game on the weekend. So hopefully they're drinking water there and not any vape over there. So we'll lock in Tonga as they play Japan over in Colorado.
I'm not actually looking for some actual Broncos to eat over there.
Oh, hey.
It's just a joke. It's just a mascot.
It's just a joke, mate. And then in the other semi-final, Fiji plays Canada. Canada also locking in their qualification into the Rugby World Cup. Surely straightforward, Fiji.
Yeah, Fiji. Man, Fiji's just gets better and better. I mean, you can see what we're seeing the Fiji now is the draw, man. You can see they can have players going in and out, but the core group of that Fijian team is literally the draw, and they're reaching the rewards with having a professional program. So Canada was lucky to beat USA, so I think I'm going to go with Tosoviti, our Fijian brothers.
Toso. All right, lock in Fiji, and then the game, the wooden spoon game, Samoa and USA. Who do we see collecting the wooden spoon? Surely the Americans.
Yeah,
I'm cheering for. I'm going to be cheering for USA, but and I'm hoping Samoa get the wooden spoon. But let's. With our heads, surely Samoa's going to win this one. So we'll lock in Manu Samoa. And make sure you bet responsibly. Those were our picks. We'll pick our picks for the final next week. Thanks for tuning in. But before we go, mate, have you got a shout-out?
Oh, any shout-outs? Mate, we shout out the Wallabies this weekend. it'll be a cracking weekend. First weekend of spring. It'll be a nice day in Sydney. The rugby public out and about, Allianz Stadium, the local for all the private school boys because they don't want to go out to Homebush. So there's no excuses there. There'll be RMs galore and what do you call it, Gillettes or puffer vests galore.
Yeah.
This weekend, so I'm hoping for 13 plus for the Wallabies this weekend at Allianz Stadium. So that's my shout out this week.
Yeah, nice. Good shout out. And nice for you to shout out Aaron Williams. But also, if you don't feel like wearing Aaron Williams, make sure you get online, jump in and get your Rugby Heads Australia merch. Ships worldwide. And support the podcast. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Dave's, thanks for coming off the bench and getting another start. And we might see you next week. Okay. Thanks, guys.
My invoice, my starting invoice.
Up the Wallabies and Wallaroos. Let's go.